Great day, great day, great day. Hello, everybody. Welcome. So excited. Thank you so much for taking some time out today to join me. And as I go through this information, for those that don't know who I am, I'm Rich Wall Street Williams. It's a long story on the nickname of Wall Street, but I am um, the head leader, coach trainer for Momentum Consulting. At Momentum Consulting, we believe that education plus application makes all difference in the world. And so Christoph Malzo from Lamborghini, he and I did a presentation the other day, a couple of days ago, yesterday or the day before, on the power of working for sale by owner leads. And so, because of the response, what I decided to do is I'm going to do my presentation, talk a little bit about the presentation that I did yesterday. In addition to that, I am going to play a video of Chris's portion of what we did yesterday. So let me just cue it up here a little bit. Hopefully, everyone can still see the screen. I believe you can. So let's. So as I said, my name is Rich Wall Street Williams, and I've been doing sales training for a long time. I almost said I've been doing this all my life, and I'm passionate about helping sales professional be successful. And at this particular time in my career, I'm focusing in on real estate professional. Now, I have a background in real estate. I got into real estate in I believe it was 2002. I managed real estate offices. I was a team leader for Keller Williams for several years. I traveled and trained as a sweat hogs trainer. If you've been around longer than 20 years in real estate, you know what I mean when I say sweat hogs. So if I were to say sweat, you would say what? Hog. That's right. Don't worry about it. It's a long story. And so I've done that. I've was a master faculty member for Long and Foster, and I traveled in the DC metro area for Long and Foster. Um, doing training, and so I'm passionate about doing that. I'm passionate about helping others succeed, and so I've my area as a real estate professional, I specialize in um, working with sellers. Specifically, my niche market was working with for sale by owners, and so as you see me looking off to the side here, I'm just making sure I'm monitoring the social media. I mean, the comment section. I want to make sure if you have questions as I'm going through this, I want to be able to answer your questions. There's a chat box there. You can put your comments in chat and et cetera, et cetera. But again, I just want to make sure that I'm answering the questions that you may have. So anyway, so that's what we're doing. I'm going through this process of getting the information out there as it relates to working with for sale by owners. Now, to me, for sale by owners, a gold mine. Now, when Chris and I did the presentation the other day, Chris focused in on distressed properties, the value and power working with distressed properties. Here's the success that I found in real estate, and just as I mentioned earlier, training with real estate agents. I'm passionate about helping realtors that have 3 years or less in business, or you've done less than 5 transactions in the previous 12 months. One of the things I love to do is I love to have conversation with realtors. And so what you can do is you can click on a link or you can send me a message, and I'll carve out 10 or 15 minutes to have a conversation, learn a little bit more about you, more about your business, your niche, and then maybe share one or two ideas that can help you succeed. And that's not, and that isn't something that I'm doing to charge. That's something that I do that because I want to see you win. So this for sale by owner gold mine. How to confidently convert and close real estate. I'm sorry, how to convert and close real estate for sale by owners in selling real estate. You'll learn why most new agents fail in real estate, and then how to flip the script with a proven for sale by owner strategy. Friend, let me tell you something. I have a 85% success rate when it comes to setting that appointment to meet with the for sale by owners. I personally don't understand. Help me friend, help me LinkedIn, help me Facebook, help me understand. Um, as a realtor, you have someone that's saying, "Hey, I'm going to share with you what 15 plus years of real estate taught me in a free platform or free environment, or not necessarily free. Well, it is free, but I don't like the word free. I just got this thing about free. I say complimentary, right? Complimentary environment where I'm not selling a product, I'm not selling a class, I'm not selling a book or ebooks, and I have all of those. I mean, since 2004, I've created and done over 200 webinars and training. I've authored books. I have ebooks. I have books for sale on Amazon and other platforms. But I want to see you make it. I want to see you succeed. So how to avoid failure is what we're talking about. So here's some stats from the National Association of Realtors. 87%. 87% of new agents fail within their first 5 years, according to the National Association of Realtors. The common reason is no clear systems, no consistent leads, and poor conversion. So you need structure and mentorship to thrive. You need structure. Structure simply means that you have to attach, listen to me, you have to attach activity to objectives, as opposed to just doing a bunch of activities and trying to find an objective, trying to find a reason for. No. So you establish your objectives first, the reason for the activity, and then you only do the activities that support your objective, right? And so that's what I talk about. That's what I mean when I say you got to have some kind of strict structure and mentorship in place. And a little bit about me, trusted real estate coach, webinar host, speaker. I mentioned about the sales focused ebooks. I have we have a Facebook page for realtors, and it's set up dedicated to newer realtors called Fast Track Academy. So just go on Facebook and search for Fast Track Academy. You'll see a picture of me that looks just like this. And you know it's the right one. And I'm also CEO Mindset Mentor, help entrepreneurs and realtors think, speak, and lead this like the CEO of their business. Let me just talk about that just for a minute. I believe every realtor coming into real estate should have the mindset that I'm the CEO of a multi-million dollar real estate company. You, friend, you are the CEO of a multi-million dollar real estate company. When you come into real estate with that mindset, when you come into real estate and you treat it like a business and not a hobby, you'll find that the structure and the systems and the success will begin to line up for you. I was on a webinar yesterday, and Chris from Land Voice mentioned that there was a new agent that he met that plugged into using Land Voice, and we'll talk a little bit about Land Voice later, but plugged into Land Voice in his first 30 days as a new realtor, he listed and closed, I believe Chris said, $30,000 in commission. 30 days new in the real estate. That's the structure that I'm talking about. All right. So, what about this for sale by owner opportunity? According to research, for sale by owners account for about 8% of home sales. 80%, 80%, highlight that in your notes. 80% eventually list with an agent. For sale by owners are warm leads, your opportunity to win listings without cold chasing. The reason why I call it warm leads, because in sales they talk about the cold call or the cold lead. But when you call a for sale by owners, when you call an expired listing, and or if you call a distressed property, those are warm leads, because in many cases, well, the for sale by owner is a warm lead because they have a sign in the yard. They're saying that I want to sell. The expired lead, the expired listing is a warm lead because they try to sell, and for whatever reason it didn't sell. And then if an individual has a distressed property and you come at the right time, they don't know what to do, and you can offer a solution. Hey, listen, I'm just curious if I can get your house sold at a price that you're comfortable, would you consider selling, right? So you can just move into that, but that's the for sale by owner opportunity. But think about this: 80% of for sale by owners will list with an agent. 80%, friends, will list with an agent. I'm going to circle back to the 80% in just a minute. But this is my ABC method of how to approach for sale by owners, and it expired. A stands for the approach. Come with curiosity, not commission breath. Come with curiosity, not commission breath. What do I mean by that? When you call, your only reason for calling is not to list it, not to tell how wonderful you are, not to send over your marketing or take over your marketing material. Only one goal, friend. If you're going to be successful and if you're going to have the 85% or better success rate that I know that you can have when it comes to the for sale by owner, your motive is to just get your foot in the door. That's it. So that's not have, commission breath is I'm trying to list it. I'm trying to sell you on choose me. Nope. You just want to get your foot in the door. The B stands for build rapport, ask questions, uncover motivation. I say that you have to serve first. To me, serving first simply means I have to first connect with what's in your heart before I can ask for what's in your hand. What does that mean? I want to ask a series of questions. I want to build a rapport. I want to understand you. I want to understand your goals. I want to understand where you're going. And maybe I can be a part of that conversation. And if I do that right, if I provide value first, when it comes time to list, that's asking for what's in their hand. It's an easy conversation. It's an easy transition from for sale by owners to they're choosing you as their realtor that they want to work with. And then letter C says close for the sit down. I said this earlier. You invite them to a 15-minute walkthrough of the property. It's only to get your foot in the door. It's only to get your foot in the door. So now I mentioned about the 80% for sale by owner. The 80% of for sale by owners change their mind. 80% of for sale by owners will eventually list with a realtor. Now let's just break that down for a minute. Now, what if you worked one for sale by owner a week? How many weeks in a year? Easy math class is 52. One for sale by owner a week, 52 weeks in the year. 80% of 52 weeks is a potential 37 or so listings. One for sale by owner a week, 52 weeks in a year. 80% of for sale by owners will eventually choose a realtor. And if you're the realtor that they choose, that's potential 35 listings simply from working the for sale by owner market. However, let's be real. What if you get those opportunities, but you're a 50% closer? So as opposed to 35 listing, maybe you only close on 15 or 16, or you actually list 15 or 16 is what I said, is what I meant. Think about that. Do the math on it. If your average your net commission is $7,000. Now, notice I said net. I never ever focus on growth when I'm building a business. I never ever focus on growth when I'm scaling up the real estate business. I never ever focus on the gross commission. I focus on the net commission. The net commission is typically after I have paid my broker. What do I have left? Take that number and multiply it times 15. If the number is 10,000, that's $150,000 just from using for sale by owners. Now you have other pipelines of potential business, distressed properties, expired listings, etc. But just from for sale by owners, you're talking about six figures just from working for sale by owners alone. That's the math. 80%, according to the National Association of Realtors, 80% would choose a realtor. 52 weeks in a year, 80% of 52 is about 35 or 37 listings. If I'm 50% right, that's about 15, 16, or 17 listings, six figures from one pipeline of real estate business. So here it is. Here's the script that I use that has an 85% success rate. It's a step 3 process, right? Step 1, when I call the for sale by owner, I say, is it available? Step two is I want to ask, how soon can I see it? And step three is, oh, by the way. So let me show you how that works. So I pick up the phone, I call, ring, ring. Hi, this is Rich. This is Rich from, now actually, let me back up. So when I call ABC, I mean, 123 approach, when I call, I don't say the real estate company, I say, hi, this is Rich. I saw your home listed, or I saw your home was for sale by owners on 123 Any Street. Okay. Step one, hey, hi, this is Rich. I saw your home for sale on 123 Any Street. Now, the reason why I don't tell them that I am a licensed agent, because I want to talk to their highest dominant need first. What's their highest dominant need? They want to sell their property. So psychologically, they're thinking that I'm a buyer. So when I get to step number two in the script, how soon can I see it? Boom, they're setting that appointment. Step one, step one, hi, this is Rich. I'm calling about the house on 123 Indy Street. Is it available? Step two, how soon can I see it? Boom, I'm setting that appointment. Now, the real estate commission says that you have to identify yourself as a licensed professional. You don't want to lie and sneak and surprise, I'm an agent when you get there for the appointment. No, so I typically then say in step three, oh, by the way, I work with a team of realtors that may have a buyer. Oh, by the way, now I say I work with a team of realtors because I may be setting appointments for other realtors, and that's a referral business then for me. So I say, oh, by the way, now for you, you may say I may have a buyers, or in my office, there are agents in my office that may have a buyer. Now, here's the key to this: you have to sound authentic and genuine, and again, don't have the commission breath. Finally, the bonus: N as in Nancy, M as in Mary, W as in winning, T as in Tom, S as in success. No matter what they say, you keep going. You got it? Step one. Hi, this is Rich. I'm calling about the house on 123 Any Street. Is it available? Oh, yes, it is, Rich. Boom, I'm setting the appointment. Step three. Oh, by the way, I work with a team of realtors. Oh, by the way, in my office, there are realtors that may have a buyer that's interested in seeing your property, right? Now, sometimes you may get into the conversation. They may say something like, "Oh no, I'm not working with a realtor." I say, "I totally understand it," um, and then I just keep moving forward. Oh no, 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 I'm not. Now, listen. Here's the reality. You may say, "Oh, by the way, I work with a team of realtors." Oh, by the way, I may have a buyer that's interested in purchasing in your price range. Now, I only say that if it's true. I don't lie. I like to start all my relationships, personal and professional, being authentic and genuine. If you don't have a buyer that's looking to purchase in that price range, you can say there are agents in my office who have buyers that are looking to purchase in that price range. That way, it's an authentic statement. But you may get some pushback. It's okay. No matter what they say, keep going. Okay, great. I know, I totally understand that. So, boom, I look forward to seeing you Wednesday at 2 o'clock. I'm not going to go into details of how to prepare and all of that. We get into that on some of our coaching classes later. I just wanted to hit you with some of the highlights. I'll touch briefly on when you're working with expired leads. These are really good questions. You know, I learned when I was a team leader for Keller Williams. Gary Keller taught a session in Austin one time, and he said, "Stay in curiosity, and you avoid being in judgment." And so, questions create curiosity, and it invites dialogue. Write that down. Questions create curiosity, and it will always invite dialogue. So here are some questions that you can ask an expired listing. How did you ever sell it? I'm calling about the house on 123 Industry. Looks like it didn't sell. Did you ever sell it? There's going to be some dialogues. Oh, that's too bad. What happened? There's going to be some dialogue. Where were you going? I'm renewing the motivation. First question: did you ever sell it? Of course not. Didn't sell. You see that, right? It could be a little hostile, so you have to be empathetic, right? Oh, that's too bad. What happened? Now, listen, whatever the conversation, however the conversation go from the seller, as a realtor, as a professional, you never ever knock the competition. If the seller says my previous agent, he was a complete failure, he was an idiot, I'm surprised that he can walk and chew gum at the same time. You don't want to say, yeah, I know I worked with that agent in the past, or yeah, I know agents from that brokerage are idiots. That's unprofessional. Always be above board. Michelle Obama said years ago that when they go low, you go high. Always be authentic, always be integral when you do this, right? And so, then finally, would you still want to move on? These are questions that you ask. Now, as it relates to for sale by owners, and this is where I am going to attempt to play a portion of the video from yesterday, uh, where Chris from Land Voice, who is a data mining, he refers to himself as a data mining nerd for Land Voice. Land Voice has 98% or higher accuracy in getting those for sale by owners, expired leads, and distressed properties. They are delivered to your phone, includes built-in scripts and CRM. You're never by yourself. And Land Voice to me, Land Voice for me is my go to um, tool as it relates to listing and generating business. Okay, so here we go. Let me scroll through. And I wasn't looking to see if I don't see any questions in the chat. So don't forget, you got questions, make sure you send those my way. All right, here we go. Let's see if it's going to.
These distressed properties. In real estate, to me, Chris,
just make sure I have it on.
So I'm going to fast forward a little bit here because I just wanted to take it right to where Chris gets to his presentation. Okay, here we go. And this is Chris from Land Voice, and Chris is um, talking about Land Voice and the power of Land Voice, and then he has a special offer. So stay to the end. It's only about 13 minutes. I believe it's about 13 minutes for the video. So here we go.
Right? What makes you hang up? What makes you stay on the phone?
mm-hmm.
If you use that type of script, it will keep you on the phone. And that's the purpose, to get the appointment quickly without commission breath. I use the same phrase, no commission breath, lead with value, right? So let me see if I can change really quickly here to the slide. Oops. Here it is. Okay, so what we're going to do in the next couple of minutes is we're going to show you exactly how you can get not only appointments, because that's how you get it with a script, but how do you get the data in the first place to get the appointments? Okay. We're going to start, we're going to backtrack a little bit. We're going to go first to distressed homeowners, and then we're going to go back to for sale by owners. I'm going to show you how you can get appointments from both of those lead sources every single week. In fact, some of you can get one appointment a day, even if you're part-time. Okay. Over the last couple years, 2 years, we had economic headwinds. And while this is perceived as something negative, it actually is a new lead source that you now have with people who were affected by financial distress. And they are now in the situation that we call in the industry distressed properties. And the most obvious lead source is a pre-foreclosure. Okay, those are homeowners who already received a notice of default. They are very much aware that this is a path they're on. There's no backtracking unless they suddenly come up with all that money to get out of it. But they're on a road to having to sell their home or losing their home. Okay. Here is the timeline that you should know about. They have about 60 to 180 days, depending on the state that you're in, from the time they receive their NOD to the time of the auction. Okay, that is your time frame that you can use to put the home on the market and find a buyer for them. And they will be eternally grateful for you because right now homes are selling still at a top dollars, right? At the height of their of the home values of that homeowner. So it is actually a good time for them to put the home on the market. I looked up what's going on in Montgomery County, Prince George's County, Anne Arundel, Howard County. I understand that this webinar is nationwide. We just focus on this area right now, so we have at least one area in the country that we can give you data of, and the rest I can give you on demand. I give you actually a number where you can ask for your data. Okay, so in those 4 counties in LandVoice, we have 253 brand new pre-foreclosures. You have to think about it this way. You have, if you go, let's say, to the county records, you have 253 records of a name and an address. That's all you get from the county records. You don't get the phone number. So now your job would be to find out the phone number so you can reach out to them, unless you want to door knock 253 homes, and that is almost impossible because you have to do so many other things. So how can you reach out to 253 in a reasonable time and even beat everybody else? If you would do that on your own, I mean, like this guy here, right? I mean, it's consuming, time consuming, it's exhausting, and it's expensive because your time is expensive. I'm going to show you now a way how you can reach out to them within 30 seconds of getting the data. And you don't even have to go to the county records to get the data. You simply log into LandVoice. You get your own LandVoice account. I recommend that every agent should have one. That's as important to me. It's as important as having access to the MLS. If you don't have access to LandVoice, it's like not having the MLS. It's very difficult to be an agent and be successful. Within 30 seconds, you will have all the contact information with phone numbers, up to 3 numbers per pre-foreclosure, and information about their home, all the square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, everything, and so much more information about them, and even email addresses. I'm just gonna get this out really quick. We don't need this. So the question is, how many pre-foreclosures do you have in your top 2 counties? You think of that, you should know this number actually, but if you don't know it, I give you a chance now to find out. I give you a gift. We do a free lookup for you and check in LandVoice how many pre-foreclosures there are, because it is important before you start calling them that you know what is the opportunity. So text your top 2 to 4 counties to Alex. Just put your name, your counties to 801-998-2423. And within 2 hours, Alex will look up the number of pre-foreclosures for the last 30 days and 90 days to let you know what your opportunity is for pre-foreclosures. Okay, I hope that is a good gift for you because normally something like this costs money. So how does it work? If you say, I want to subscribe to my counties, I want to be notified every day of all the new pre-foreclosures with the phone numbers, you simply give us your top 2 to 4 counties. You pay the subscription fee, which is very low. And then you see this screen. On the left side, you see expired, for sale by owners, pre-foreclosures. We clicked on pre-foreclosure because that's what we're talking about right now. You can see if it's a notice of default, a notice of trustee sale. And the cool thing is you get it the second it's filed with a county, which is even before the pre-foreclosure gets that official notice in the mail. You have it before. And you find the name, the phone numbers. If it's green, it's not on the do not call registry. If the number is in red, it's on the national do not call registry. So that's another time saver for you because you don't have to do that yourself. Why is it important? Because even though you're not really selling anything, you're just offering services, you cannot, as a professional, call on somebody who's on the national do not call because you are a realtor and that's your final purpose, right? To put their home on the market. So don't call numbers in red, call them in green. And when you click on the filter, you can actually filter by time. You can go up back to 12 months to find all the pre-foreclosures that have come on the market in those counties. And then you can export that list, you can print it, you can do whatever you want with it. And every day you get the new data. Every morning by midnight, actually, we populate it in by 6, 7 in the morning, depending on where you are. You have the new data at your fingertips. That's what it looks like on your phone. I like it on the phone because a lot of you guys are on the road and mobile, and you don't are not at the desktop or the laptop all the time. Also, the advantage on the phone is you can simply tap the number and it dials it for you, and you can cross it out. You can create a tag, a note, so it stays with that lead forever. So for those of you who are currently investing in a dialer, you don't even need to do that. This is almost as fast as a one-line dialer, and it's 100% compliant with the TCPA regulations. So that's how simple it is. Now you have the number. When you call before everybody else, you will find yourself, instead of a red ocean, in a blue ocean, which means you're doing something different than your competition. It's not fun to be in the red ocean, call at the same time, like in the afternoon when you finally find the number and everybody else is calling too, including the investors. That's not fun. Get land voice, be the first one to call them and set that appointment. How accurate is the data? I'm not going to answer that for you. I'm going to let actually a real estate agent from Keller Williams share what she found.
We are absolutely crushing it on Land Voice. The pre-foreclosure data is spot on. Our team in less than 3 weeks has 17 listings. I highly recommend it. We're getting ready to go through a shift. A lot of us are already in a shifting market, and leveraging the pre-foreclosure data and getting back to things that worked 10 years ago in short sales has been super powerful for us. So highly recommend it.
So you heard it. The data is spot on, and you can get lots of listings if you do it the right way. If you do it the wrong way, you would come in with commission breath, and that's basically asking for the listing. Hey, I saw your house is going into pre-foreclosure or in foreclosure. Let me help you. I help people like you. That's my specialty, right? That gets you usually a click, and they hang up, or so take me off your list. Instead, there's a mindlessly simple script that works. And that script comes from Christina, the one you just heard on the testimonial. She said, that's how I get 17 listings actually transactions in a quarter. Here it is. Hi, my name is Christoph. I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams. I know your home isn't for sale right now, but have you ever thought about selling? Or I'm calling everybody in my neighborhood right now because home prices are up. And I was just wondering, I'm an agent in your area. I was just wondering, if you were offered the right price for your home, would you be willing to sell? Guys, this script does not work always with a neighbor, a general neighbor, right? But if you know that that person is a pre-foreclosure, it works because they want to know the value of the home. That's the first thing they need to know to discuss the next step. Should we sell? What should we do? Is a way to modify our mortgage. They want to know the value of the home, and you're an expert. And if you offer them that opportunity to find out what the right price is, they will want to talk to you. So how much is pre-foreclosure? Like I told you earlier, it's not much at all. If you do it on your own, that's expensive. That is expensive because your hour should be worth a couple $100, right? For only $40 a month, you don't need to do any research at all. You get all the data automatically in your LandVoice platform, or $400 a year, then you save 2 months. That's what I would recommend what you do. Okay. And I'll show you a little bit later where you can get it and what number you can call. Now, let's talk about distressed homeowners that are not yet in pre-foreclosure. That is almost like predicting the future. Okay. So who in your market is going to go into pre-foreclosure? Because you want to even beat the agents who are talking to pre-foreclosures. You want to talk to the homeowners a month or 2 months before they become a pre-foreclosure and everybody tries to reach them. Remember that movie, Back to the Future, where Biff finds this almanac of sports, and he actually takes it to the future or to the past, and he can predict what's going on, and he becomes a billionaire or a millionaire. We have such a tool for you that you can have your own basically crystal ball that tells you what will happen in terms of pre-foreclosures in the next 30 days in your market. And I'm going to show you exactly what it is. This tool is only a couple months old. It's brand new, and you can be among the first people to use it. And this now captures the contact information of distressed homeowners who are not yet in foreclosure. They missed the first mortgage payment, the second, the third. Now they get a letter of demand from the bank. They miss a fourth mortgage payment. And all those people, we have the data for. We're an expert in getting the data that is not public data that you can get. And we can give it to you with names and addresses and everything about their home. And you can reach out to them before they even go into pre-foreclosure and form a relationship. This is what it looks like. You give us your top zip codes. This tool goes by zip codes, not by county. And those zip codes will be exclusive to you. That means if you get the distressed homeowners for your top zip codes, no other agent will get that from LandVoice. Okay? You will own those zip codes. And again, you get the name, the phone numbers, and so on, everything like before. But something is different here. You have a thermometer that tells you the level of distress. That is so cool. I love that. This homeowner right here, what's his name? Diana Prince. She is not yet in very much distress, probably missed 1 or 2 mortgage payments, maybe 3. But this person here, Luke Skywalker, he missed 4 or 5 mortgage payments, is in high distress, and most likely, if he doesn't pay up, next month he will get into pre-foreclosure. I want to call Luke right away and build a relationship. And I'm going to show you the script here in a second. But before we do that, let's do something for free for you again. We're going to tell you how many distressed homeowners you have in your particular zip codes. Text the top 4 to 6 zip codes to Alex. He's in the office right next to me, and I told him that he's going to get a lot of text messages. So text him to 801-998-2423, and he's going to do this for free for you. He's going to find out how many pre-foreclosures, how many distressed homeowners there are who will go into pre-foreclosure most likely in the next month. And that gives you a good idea of your area and what's going on, the level of distress. And you will have intelligent knowledge that nobody else has in the area. That is literally a crystal ball. It puts you ahead of everybody else. And then if you want the data, of course, you can subscribe to LandVoice and get it. And I'll show you in a second how much that costs. It's not much. What you get from LandVoice, if you want the data, you get 500 exclusive distressed property owner data. And you may say, no, I only want 10, or 20. Unfortunately, we cannot give you only 10 or 20 because it's too expensive for us to look that up. So we do it in batches of 500. Our data provider does not give smaller batches than that. You will get 500 exclusive distressed property owner data for the last 30 days. And out of those 500, you will find that you get several very motivated sellers. And that's going to propel your business forward like you have never done it before. It's going to be incredible. Our competition charges $4 a record, which is actually not much, to be honest, because I have seen some they charge $30 for a distressed homeowner. LandVoice will do something special for you. We give it to you for $2.50 a record. You don't even have to be a client at LandVoice. If you just want distressed and nothing else, $2.50 a record. You have to buy it in batches of 500. For all of you on this webinar, I give you an additional discount, only $2 per record. You can get it in no other way except through this webinar, get this additional discount. Okay. Make sure you text your zip codes. I give you the number again in a second. So you find out, first of all, how many you have. And if we have 500 for your area, this is worth it. You will be doing something different than anybody else. Okay, now we switch gear a little bit. Go back to for sale by owners. I promised you that we would talk about how you get the data from them. First of all, my mindset is I studied psychology, right? So I try to use psychology to help me with my mindset. Instead of thinking of a for sale by owner as something difficult, rejection, and so on, I think it in the acronyms fastest source of business opportunity, FSBO. And that's what it is. There are many ways to grow your business, but the fastest way to do so is talking to people who already want to sell, like for sale by owners. Like Rich said earlier, 75% end up listing with an agent, so it's worth it to call them and to reach out to them, set appointments. Don't make the mistake like a lot of agents. They say, oh, I can do this myself. I can find them. I know how to do it. I go to Zillow. I find them all. And then I go drive around the neighborhood. I find those who are not on Zillow yet. And then I go to forsalebyowner.com. I find a couple there. And then I go to the local newspaper online. I find a couple there. I put everything in a cool spreadsheet and I check it every day against the MLS. Guys, I get breathless just thinking about that. That's a job within a job. That's a much easier way. Simply give us your top 2 to 4 counties, and we will give you all the for sale by owners every single day by midnight. We can let you know how many you have actually in the top 2 to 4 counties. Simply text Alex, text him FSBO, your name, and 801-998-2423, and he will let you know for free how many for sale by owners you have there in the last 30 days, 90 days, even in the last year. So you know if that is a viable lead source for you. And I bet you it is. There will be hundreds. So this is what it looks like. When you click on for sale by owner, you have the data with the phone numbers, everything scrubbed against the do not call. You can sort by price, by bedrooms, bathrooms, all of those kind of things. We find the email addresses oftentimes, sometimes the social media profiles. My favorite is, of course, the phone number. And when you click on the record, you even find the ad. And that is so cool to have the ad in front of you when you call. That makes you different than everybody else, because if they talk about the home, you say, yeah, I read that in the ad, and you actually show that you did your research and it didn't even take you much time. Now we're going to switch gear again, and I'm going to talk really quickly about expireds. We didn't put that in the title, but I think it's important. Expireds are another motivated seller, right? 78% of them list with the first agent who calls. And if you just think of that, that is, now you have motivated sellers like for sale by owners, motivated sellers like expireds. They're frustrated with the previous agent. They're eager to find a better agent and make a switch. And if you call before everybody else, you will get the chance, because most of them list with the first agent who calls. And instead of going to the MLS, finding them all, finding the phone numbers, finding the email addresses, you just get it automatically at LandVoice every day. We populate the data into your MLS, into your LandVoice platform by 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning every day. And you see all the information like in all the other tools that I just showed you. You can even create tags and notes. And that makes you the first agent to call expires. And you will get listings from that. We will give you the scripts as well. We also include a geographic farming tool for you, which we just updated. It's so important to do that, because if you circle prospect around expires, for sale by owners, pre-foreclosures, and you get a listing, and you let the neighbors know what you just did, we call this actually listings as babies. You will get additional listings out of the neighborhood, because they're usually similar homes like the other homes, and say, oh, if that guy is sold, maybe I should sell as well. Or my folks want to move into the neighborhood. I would love to have them close by. And that's why you should always talk to neighbors. It's so much easier than calling people randomly. Neighborhood search tool looks like this. This is brand new. Actually, we now include pictures of every home. And you simply select an area where you circle prospect, maybe right around your listing, 500 homes I would recommend. And then you get their phone numbers and the list. And you can do up to 3,000 records a month. And you can search one address or many and export that list and start reaching out to them. My recommendation is, like I said earlier, start with 500 and find an area that has a 6% turnover rate. You have a much better chance of success in a high turnover rate neighborhood than in a neighborhood where nobody ever sells. So what are you getting from LandVoice? What is it that Rich and I are proposing to you? First of all, we want you to have the scripts. Go to landvoice.com/free downloads. You get a whole host of resources for free. Okay, that's a no-brainer. You get an ebook, 10 listings in 7 days, which I wrote. You're gonna love that. It tells you specifically how to work with for sale by owners. Then you get expired scripts, pre-foreclosure scripts, some videos, neighborhood search scripts, objection handlers, all for free. landvoice.com/free downloads. There's also a QR code. Second, we want you to have access to all the data without just saying, oh, I'm just going to pick one and see how it works. If you have more than one lead source, you have much better chance of success. Because on some days, you don't have many for sale by owners, and you say, yeah, maybe today it's a time to call expires. You also get FSBOs, expires, pre-foreclosures, and neighborhood search all in one bundle. We call that actually the Pro bundle. And our competition charges, you can see right here for FSBOs, expires, pre-foreclosures, neighborhood search, $3,590. The lowest one is $2,830, and LandVoice is only $1,497 a year. Think about this. How many listings do you need to get to pay off the $1,497? And you're right, it pays off with the very first listing, and we want you to have 10 listings a month. Okay, that's over 100 listings a year, and that's what you can get. I just skipped the testimonial. Was a young buck, 18 years old, just got his license, and he got 3 transactions in his first month just from expireds from LandVoice, $30,000 in commissions. Okay, so it happens all the time. That's actually not very unusual. Instead of paying $14.97, I'm gonna give you a deal at this webinar. So whether you watch this live or in a recording, we're gonna give you the chance to get an additional discount. But you do need to text the word PRO to 801-998-2423 to Alex to qualify for the flash sale. How much discount is a flash sale? It's huge. We take another $500 off. You don't find that at our website. You don't find it at Black Friday or Christmas or anything like that. This is for this webinar. That's the best deal ever. That's less than $3 a day, guys. The question shouldn't be, can I afford this? It's almost like, can I afford not to do this? This is incredible. Our average client gets about 2 to 3 transactions every single month just from that. So for the flash sale, we also double the counties for you. Normally we include 2 counties. Today you get 4 counties, which is normally $200 extra, and you still pay only $997 a year now instead of $1697 a year. Text PRO to Alex, 801-998-2423. We limit it, however, to the first 8. So that double the counties is to 8. The $997 is for everybody who calls during this webinar or listening to a recording. Okay, so that is my presentation, Rich. I hope that was helpful.
It was. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love the story you said of the realtor that did $30,000 the first month.
In his first month.
His first month. Wow. So I just did the quick math. I mean, he's on track for a 6-figure lifestyle. Yeah, I love it. And so, there it is. And here's the other thing I want to add, Chris, for now this is for those on the for sale by owner side, that if they do the 997, and you let me know, everyone that does the 997, your team reach out and let me know, then I'm going to do the first few weeks of coaching on how to do the ABC and setting those appointments, so they can carve out 30-minute time slots. And that's just specifically for those that do the 997. I'm gonna show you how you can get the kind of success with for sale by owners and literally get listing appointments within 2 weeks of starting with the LandVoice system.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's awesome. Thank you so much for doing that.
Yes, sir. My pleasure. Anything else, Chris, you want us to know before we go?
Oh, right. So again, that was the for sale by owner, for sale by owner distressed property presentation that we did the other day, that Chris and I did the other day, and I wanted to share the information. We got some questions and comments as it relates to it. I'm going to encourage you to take advantage of the things that Chris and his team is offering. And again, let me just clarify something. There is one of the platforms, or one of the paths to get LandVoice. You have 2 choices. One is you can do a monthly subscription, or the other is you get the huge discount of over $500, where you pay the $9.97. What I'm going to do, and Chris and the team is going to let me know, for every one that does a $9.97, I'm going to carve out time the first 2 weeks, at least 30 minutes per phone call. That way, I'm going to email you some information. This is the script. This is what I say, just and some pre-recorded videos that you can watch. And then we're going to get on a call together, have a 30-minute conversation. I'm going to walk you through how this works, and then I'm going to reach out to a for sale by owner in your market. You're using Land Voice. I'm going to reach out to a for sale by owner in your market. Set that appointment for you. And no, you're not going to pay me for it, but I just want to demonstrate how powerful it is. I'm telling you, you follow this, you get a tool like Land Voice that's going to help give you that structure to your business. And then for me, the for sale by owner and expired listing, but more specifically, I'm going to show you how quickly you can start getting listings within 2 weeks of your subscription to Land Voice. So that's all that I have. I hope that this made sense to you. I'm Rich Williams from the Motivate Podcast Show, and also from Momentum. And at Momentum Consulting, we believe that education plus application makes all the difference in the world.